Alright, good morning everybody, and happy Thursday. Sorry I can't be here, but today what we're going to be doing is looking at projectiles and looking at some different characteristics between the two different types of projectiles. Again, this is just an intro. We're going to be getting more into it next week, so if you still have questions, that's fine. You're supposed to still have some questions. We're going to be working through this though, starting with today. There's two types of projectiles. Projectile 1 would be a horizontally launched projectile. So if you think of something on top of a cliff and you just project it out perfectly horizontally, gravity does its work and pulls it down at the same time. But again, starting from initial height, launching it out perfectly horizontally, as in this photo right here, is going to be one type of projectile. The next type of projectile would be a projectile launched at an angle. So instead of being launched from an initial height, it gets launched from the ground down here at some angle, theta, and it follows this sort of rainbow pattern, if you will, reaching an apex there, coming down symmetrically on the other side. If you want to think of it as half of the first type, right? The first type is the apex down to the ground. Again, there's a certain symmetry where you can think of it, this problem type 2, as half of, or the first type as half of the second. Sorry there. So in order to get to the activity, you have over here your projectile motion Phet, and we just say that in a search engine, search Phet projectile motion. When the simulation shows up, click on the triangular play button on the simulation. Your part 1 is going to be projectiles at an angle. So that second type we looked at, launch at an angle from the ground, is what you're going to be investigating first, until you get down here to Part 2, horizontal projectiles. Those are the ones that are launched at that height from no angle, right? Half of the rainbow, if you will, for the Part 2 there. So again, just open up a new tab, Google search Phet projectiles. It'll come right up. Projectile motion, kinematics, it's Phet, Colorado. Good to go. Click play. Once you get there, don't be confused by all this. Click right on intro, and you'll see that we can start messing around with this simulation. So again, the first type that we're looking at is these projectiles at an angle, launched at an angle from the ground. So you can bring this cannon right down to ground height. See how it has a height of 0, and again, you can change the height just by moving the cannon. It's now starting with a height of 0. At an angle of 25 degrees with an initial speed or velocity of 15 meters per second. You can bump up the speed a little bit, 20 meters per second. You can change your angle here, which I have to learn how to do. Oh, you're just playing with the cannon itself. So maybe 65 degrees, initial speed of 20, and then this button down here is the fire away. And that really sent it. You can also zoom out, so don't get worried if it goes off the screen. You can zoom out, but this tool right here is your best friend, because we're asking you to find heights, we're asking you to find times, ranges, we're asking you to find all these things. So if you see this green button in the middle here, that's going to be your apex, and if you put your tool on your apex, it tells you how much time it took to get up there, 1.85 seconds. The range is the horizontal range, right? And then the height is what it sounds. The height right there, vertically. You can do, this at all points on the parabolic path, and you can also do it on the very, very last point there, where you see it's at a height of 0, as it should be. The range is that horizontal distance. Looks to be about twice as much as the apex. And the time, 3.7 seconds. Looks to be about twice as much as the apex as well. Okay. So when you're all set, you can put that up there. You can clear everything out by hitting this eraser, and then you can go on to part 2. Again, part 2 is going to be the horizontal projectiles, where you're launching it at a height and no angle. So we can bring this up to some certain height. Again, no angle on this. So bring our cannon down to 0 degrees. You're launching it out horizontally. fire away. Same thing. Grab your tool and you can start looking at all of these different pieces as to how far it goes and the height that it ended up at, as well as heights along the path there. So I think that's everything. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't be with you folks today, but have a great rest of your day, and adios.